All right, today I want to introduce you Ryker 600 and 900 owners to the family of Hunterworks clutch tools. Allow you to do clutch kits, maintenance, whatever it is you're doing in your clutches, we have a tool to get into it. Before we get into it too deep, as of today's date, we still only have our Ryker 600 belt. It is made by the same company that makes the OE belt. It is a higher specification material in it, makes it a higher quality belt. And believe it or not, we're still able to sell it to you at less than your regular OE is because there is no middleman for us. Okay, so let's get right into the tools. There are a couple tools that I would consider mandatory or must-have if you're going to own the vehicle. Those two tools are a clutch puller and a spring compressor. Why? Well, because any kind of maintenance, you want to pull your primary clutch off, work on it a bench, give it a cleaning, whatever it is, you got to get it off. Secondary clutch, same thing. Hey, I need to take it apart and clean it. I need to put some Hunterworks rollers in it, I hope, in it to get rid of the bad factory ones that break. But whatever it is, and so here's our clutch puller. You simply pull the bolt out of the primary clutch, screw this in. I use an impact, but you screw it in, it bottoms out into the hole in the crank down in the bottom and pops it off. The next tool is a spring compressor. Now, we used to just call this secondary spring compressor, but we started using them personally for primary clutches, etc. You can't use it on your primary clutch, but it's kind of a universal tool. Actually, it works on just about every secondary I'm aware of. In one way or another, we have a little washer in here. Some secondary clutches do not use what we call the bail. Yours does. That has 4 holes to mount it to a bench. That's what the tip of this is. This is actually my old bench here. Spring compressor. And again, those are the two that I would suggest you just need in your toolbox. The others are, if you want to go deeper, if you need to take your primary clutch apart for whatever reason, you're doing a clutch kit, you're changing springs, you're doing a bearing, you got to get the two halves apart and enter in what's called a governor cup tool. Now this is ours. Yes, it's pricey, but it's made in the United States and it works great and it's heavy duty. You essentially screw your puller back into the primary clutch once it's off, set this on top, it comes with screws to screw down into the top of the clutch, and you run this down and it pushes against that puller and separates two halves. I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but where you see these tools on our website, if you click on them like you're going to buy them, there will be a video like how to use the tool, a lot more detail than this. This is just an introduction to the tools. Okay, so that is our governor cup tool. While we're there and we're talking about clutch kits, if you were putting a clutch kit on it and you was having to adjust some fly weights or whatever you might be doing and you didn't want to take a clutch off and do so you can do it right on a vehicle. You have to take your belt off first, but this little tool here screws into 2 of those holes on that primary clutch and it moves the movable sheave inward to loosen up the flyweight where you can get it out. And you take your pivot pin or pivot bolt out, flyweight out, do what you're going to do, put it back, take your tool off, okay? The next one is going to be what we call a torque tool. It's very important to torque more so the primary clutch than the secondary. I mean, ideally you should, but primary clutch is very important to torque correctly, and you got to have some way to hold it. This particular tool we came up with, I don't know, a year or so ago, and now it is selling approximately 100 every 5 weeks or so. But those same threaded holes in that primary clutch, you can put these little pins in right on the vehicle. Yours would be kind of down here. You put in the pin and this handle can rest against something and and hold it in place while you take a torque wrench and torque it. It does not work on your secondary clutch, which kind of sucks. Some of the UTVs it does because they got holes in the helix. You can hold on to it. But if you want to hold the primary while you torque it, I don't know of anything any better. And then I believe lastly is going to be a Hunterworks belt change tool. You know what? Why did I come up with this, or why do we even have one? There's things available. The factory tool, which I'm not sure if it comes with a Ryker, it does not with a UTV or ATV, but screws into that secondary and has that little screw off to the side, and you have to use a tool and it digs into that aluminum helix, and I never have liked that. I didn't like having to use a tool to do it. Then there's those spring-loaded types, and you pull it on a spring. If you ain't careful, you hit yourself. I just didn't care for them, so I came up with this little jewel, and it just screws into that threaded area in the secondary clutch, and you start cranking the handle, and it pushes against the helix and starts opening it up. Once again, go where you buy it, watch a video on it, more detailed information about it. So that, I'm looking around a little unprofessional, but making sure I covered each and every one of these tools. Again, they're not all required, just kind of depends on what you're doing. Pullers and compressor, almost just a must-have for anything you do on it. Don't forget, Hunterworks belt, best belt on the planet. And I'm here available to help you if any kind of tech questions you might have that pertains to the clutch. That's about all I'm good for. I'm not an engine man or any of that clutch stuff, but Todd at hunterworks.com, and I'll be glad to help you and looking forward to doing some business with you. Appreciate you.